Hello, my name is Dick Wright. I'm a member of the Halifax Cable Advisory Committee and also a member on the board of the Area 58 Community Access. I'd like to produce a program for the residents of Halifax called Getting to Know Halifax. We have a lot of great things that go on in our town, and I'd like to share what goes on behind the scenes in a few of the departments. Today we're at the Recycle Center with our attendant, Jim Keegan. And Jim is going to take us through the Recycle Center, the process of dropping stuff off for the people of Halifax, and how he takes care of the products that are delivered and where they go from there. Okay, so we're at the Recycle Center here with Mr. Jim Keegan. Jim is the Halifax Recycle Center attendant. When the residents pull up, he's usually one of the first faces that he sees. I'd like to introduce Jim. Jim, good morning.
Good morning, Dick.
What are your hours at the Recycle Center here today?
Okay, for recycling, actual recycling is Monday evenings 5 to 8, Wednesdays midday 10 to 1, and on Saturdays 7:30 to 12:30.
And what would you say is probably your busiest time?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Mondays are can be right behind Saturdays.
Yeah.
Mondays is getting crazy too.
It is.
Yeah, yes.
Is that sufficient, do you think?
Currently, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
those
sufficient.
hours.
It seems to meet most people's needs.
Yeah.
Like I say, we're open in the evening on Monday, midday Wednesday, and Saturday for those that work all week.
It's hard to predict when people are going to show up, obviously. People
can
just
never do
come
that.
at their convenience.
You can never do that.
Right.
And I should mention that the office hours, Susan Johnston, who is the recycling coordinator, her office hours are 9 to 2, Monday to Thursday. So she's there to provide stickers. She can sell people bins if they need bins, but they don't actually recycle other than the hours that we're open out here.
Yeah. So what do you look for when somebody pulls up and beeps a horn and wants to come in? What do you check?
The first thing we would look for is a sticker to make sure that they're a resident and that they have their fees paid and that they have the right to come in here and recycle.
Good.
After that, we should hope if someone comes up to the door, we open the door, and there's no one in the bay, we hope that they will pull up forward so we can get about 3 or 4 cars at a time in the bay.
Right.
That way we don't have people outside waiting, frustrated to get in.
Yeah.
We do our best to avoid frustration.
Move the traffic along, if you will.
Absolutely, yeah.
So most people will come in and they have most of their stuff already sorted, right?
Most people do.
They
yes.
come up to the truck.
Yep.
And they empty their bins into the truck. Obviously, it's marked glass and plastic. Down the end is mixed paper.
Products.
Right.
And I should add, on this truck, you'll notice our sign.
Yep.
And what we mean when we say no trash, no garbage. What we consider trash is recyclables that haven't been rinsed. We had someone come in the other night and drop a whole garbage bag full of cat food cans that weren't rinsed. It offended everybody that came in behind them. The place reeked.
Mm-hmm.
So we asked that people rinse their containers, as you see here. And the only thing we want in the truck are containers. We don't want plastic bags. We don't want styrofoam. We have another way of handling that, but we do not want it in the truck. It's not recyclable in that fashion.
Right. And how about hazardous waste? If somebody comes in with a thermometer, mercury thermometer, or turpentine, or anything like that.
Okay.
Fluorescent tubes.
What we have recently started is that for most hazardous waste, we take the first Saturday of the month. The reason for that is we were taking it whenever we were open, but it's hard to keep track of it and to package it properly or to put it in the proper container. It gets ahead of us.
Yeah.
At least we know the first Saturday of the month we're going to be getting that stuff in so we can prepare for it. We can be ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as thermometers, mercury containing items, no, you can burn that anytime because we don't want people leaving that stuff around their household.
Yeah.
Mercury is in the fluorescent bulbs, and then those little squiggly bulbs, those are mercury. We want all that's hazardous. We don't want that in an environment that's very dangerous. So we take that anytime.
You like to have that as soon as people come in.
Yes.
You don't want them traveling through the recycle center with anything like that.
Absolutely.
So as soon as they come in with that hazardous material, let the attendant know that they have it.
Right, and we ask them also to let us know if anything's broken, because if a thermometer should break and it's in the package, we have to handle it differently. Now it's not just a thermometer; it's called elemental mercury, and we have to package that differently. So
Very good.
it becomes another problem.
This truck for a number of years.
Yes.
Right? Has it served the purpose of what we need it for?
It has, but it's improper technology today. It's old fashioned. It doesn't work any longer for our needs. What a lot of people don't understand is, and I explain it to them, this truck works on gravity. It's not a compactor. It's gravity.
Okay.
If he's curbside, I'm going to take you to curbside now.
Okay.
Everybody sees how it works here. Mm-hmm. But if he's curbsiding, and Bill is our driver for curbside pickups, once these bins are full on the side, he pulls this lever here, and the bins dump into the top of the truck. It's like water seeking its own level. Mm-hmm. It'll only level out as it lands in the truck, and that's it. It's not a compactor. Yep. It fills up very quickly. He has to make a lot of trips to Brockton to dump this truck.
In the course of a day, going around curbside, how many trips would he have to make to Brockton?
At least one, and very often two.
Very time consuming.
It is. It's a 2-hour trip to Brockton.
Right. And the truck is really only half full because it can't be compacted.
Absolutely. And if you could see the back of the truck, is the tailgate of the truck, it has a big bulbous extension.
Yep.
None of that paper ever gets in there. Oh. It just falls flat. It doesn't go into the back where it was. Who designed it thought it would, but it doesn't. Very often, I sometimes have to drive this truck when Bill's on vacation or he's out sick or whatever. And what I have to do very often is lift the whole body so everything tumbles back into the truck and make a little more room up there so I can get one more street for recycling, before I go dump it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We were anticipating a new truck coming, didn't the
We were hoping it was coming this month, but we were informed that it's probably not going to come until the end of January. Mm-hmm. Now that's proper technology. That's going to be a compactor.
Right.
That will. I'd say this truck may have to be dumped 5 or 6 times a week. He has a 3-day route every week.
Right.
It may have to be dumped 5 or 6 times a week. When we get that compactor, I'm thinking we might have to dump it twice.
Wow.
Twice a week.
Twice a week?
Yep.
Wow, that'll be a tremendous savings in time.
That's what we're hoping, yes.
Very
That's
good.
what we're hoping.
Yeah.
The only difference is to the residents is that we will be going from what we call commingle now. As you see, plastic, glass, and cans go in the front of the truck.
Yep.
Mixed paper products go in the back of the truck. Mm-hmm. When we get the compactor, we're going to be single stream. Everything goes together.
I see.
Paper, glass, plastic, and cans. Everything goes together.
Now
that will present some new problems. As it is right now, some people are confused as to what we actually take at curbside. We try to let them know that we don't take styrofoam. We don't take any film, any plastic film, the shopping bags you get from the market.
Right.
We don't take any plastic film that something might have come packaged in when you buy electronics, that plastic film that it comes
bubble
in.
wrap, stuff like that.
Bubble wrap, that should not go in the truck, and it should not go into the dumpsters out back, the bins out back. Now, when we go single stream, it'll be the same thing. We do not want that film in there. We don't want styrofoam in there. We certainly don't want organics, food scraps, and we want everything rinsed because the truck reeks. In the summertime, it's horrendous.
Yep.
It's horrendous.
So when people pull in, they have access to the truck. They have their cans, their glass, and their plastic. At the end of the truck, their mixed paper goes.
Yes.
And as they process through the recycle center, the next section they would hit would be cardboard section. Well, they don't want any cardboard in the truck.
No, cardboard is all right as long as nothing's bigger than a large pizza box.
Okay.
That's the biggest piece of cardboard we can take in the truck. And as we try to explain to people, What holds the sides of this truck together is we have ribs that go across the top of the truck. If you get a big piece of cardboard
Just jams it up.
that flips up in there, now it's sitting on top of the truck and we can't get anything else in there. Okay. Someone has to put themselves in harm's way by climbing up there and moving things around.
I see. Okay, as we go through the recycle center here, after people have dropped off their cans and their bottles and their mixed paper, the next section is plastic bags, peanuts.
Yes.
Right, packing peanuts.
Yes.
And styrofoam. What's this all about here? You
Okay.
just said earlier that the bags don't go into the truck.
No,
But
you'll see that this is what we mean by film. This is bubble wrap. This is some packaging that was probably around something that was electronic.
yeah,
And that's just some more wrap. I don't see any of the, yes. The market bags,
okay, yep.
the
More
air
bubble
pillows,
wrap, yep.
packaging, take those. Now, a lot of this stuff we put in boxes out back because we have some of our residents that will actually come in and ask for this because they're shipping something.
Okay.
So rather than break it up and send it out with our bags and everything, we save it
We
for them.
save it for them.
It's reusable packaging.
Excellent.
Same with the bubble wrap. We
Yep.
save that.
So what do you have there, Jim, that
Okay, this
people
is
bring in?
also a product. It's not styrofoam. Some people confuse it with styrofoam, but it's actually expanded polyethylene. And if you
I see.
squeeze it, you see it's
Yep,
rubbery
yep,
and
I see that,
soft.
yep.
Okay, the same thing with this. It's only that this is black. This also goes in with the bags.
I see. And this is also recycled?
That's all recyclable, but
It's all-
only here, not in the truck and not in the bins out back.
I see.
Only
Yep.
here. They do not want that in Brockton. When that truck gets dumped in Brockton, they don't want to see this stuff in there.
So you have to break this down,
Yeah.
bag it up,
Yes.
and put it someplace separately?
Yeah, as you see all those bags over there, that's all polyethylene.
That's all polyethylene over there, okay, and that is picked up how often?
I'm a little behind. I take that to Walmart. Currently, we're taking it up to Walmart. I used to bring it to Stop and Shop, but Stop and Shop restricted us on how many bags we could bring in any one time.
Yeah,
As you see, I have 24 bags over there.
it's quite a few,
Yeah.
yep.
So I'll get a town truck, load the town truck up and bring it up to Walmart. I'll warn them that I'm coming,
Yeah.
but they'll bail that.
Oh, really?
They bail that, and
Oh.
once they get a bail,
Mhm.
Walmart actually sells it.
And they make money on it then?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's probably not fully worth their efforts, but they do make a little money on it, and it takes the curse off the labor that is needed to
Right.
process it. But we don't get enough of it to. You have to get a truckload of it.
I
It will
see.
take us too long to get a truckload, so we don't make any money on it currently.
All right. Again, the whole idea behind the recycle center is to reuse or properly dispose
Yes.
of items that we have in our houses.
Hopefully, everything we take in here, except for what goes into some of the items that go into bulky
Bulky
waste.
waste.
Most everything we take in here is going to be reused again. It's going to be turned into another product.
Excellent. That's the whole idea of the recycle
Yes.
center.
As I explained to people, all this stuff that we bring up, like I say, to Walmart, all the efforts that we put into it and stores that collect it put into it, and they sell it to a company called Trex Decking. Trex Decking takes all this polyethylene, melts it down, and mixes it with wood flour, which is pulverized sawdust.
Yep.
And they make Trex Decking. And it's all made out of this. So anybody that's
Man-made
got
products.
Trex Decking on their deck, it's all plastic grocery bags for the most part.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. To help save the environment.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
If we
And-
go a little bit further, we are talking about packaging again in peanuts.
Yes. These
The little,
Again, we have people bring the peanuts in, and they put them in this barrel here, as explained.
yep.
And you notice I always have no trash. No trash. We don't want trash in here. Trash in this instance could be dirty peanuts. We've had people bring in bags of peanuts, and once we start pouring them, we find leaves in there, we
Oh.
find floor sweepings, and that doesn't work, so we have to end up throwing that stuff out. We can't mix it with this. It has to be a clean product. What do we do with the peanuts? We bag it, and we put them back there, and we have residents that come in that use the peanuts
Use them.
for shipping things.
Beautiful.
And we have one woman that has a little shop where she sells secondhand items. Very often she's shipping those items out, boxing them and shipping them,
Yeah.
and she takes big bags of peanuts.
Wonderful.
She uses a lot of them.
Excellent.
And it saves her a lot of money in her
I bet
business.
it does,
Yeah.
and it saves the environment.
Absolutely. They're not blowing in the wind all over town.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And now we have styrofoam.
Yep. Now this is this type of styrofoam.
Regular styrofoam
Yeah.
that
Packaging.
packaging for
Styrofoam.
microwaves or whatever.
Whatever, yeah, electronics come in it,
Yep.
furniture, appliances. We take that and we break it up and bag it. Which you see we have a lot back there.
Yep.
We bag this, and when I get about 35 bags, I bring it over to Bridgewater, which is Insulation Technologies. They take it and they shred it, repackage it, and they send it up to Framingham, which is Refoam It. Refoam It is actually the second last company in the line of recycling this stuff. What they do is they sell it on the open market,
Yep.
and they sell it to places that will actually take this styrofoam, melt it down, and turn it into coat hangers, CD cases, picture frames,
Yep.
pocket combs. There's a lot of things they make out of this.
Yep. How about coffee cups and
Okay, coffee
styrofoam
cups and
trays?
meat trays, takeout trays. We also accept that here. We package
Clean.
that differently. That has to be, I tell people, we want it clean as the dishes that go back in your cupboard. You know, it has to be rinsed clean.
Right.
It can have grease on it, crumbs, meat scraps. We want it so when we bag it, we use the same 60-gallon bags as we do the packaging styrofoam. We don't want any odor to it because that's turned into another product.
Right.
But
So the
that's
residents should
usually-
know that, again, this is strictly for styrofoam,
Yes.
not the truck down here.
Not the
As they're
dumpsters out
driving,
back.
as they're driving through the center here,
Yeah.
they have the different stops, and this is where they would like the styrofoam to go.
Right. Absolutely.
If we move a little further on, we have a cardboard station here.
That's right.
This is a profitable area for the town, isn't it, the cardboard?
It is. It is. It takes the curse off of, like I say, the efforts and labor that go into collecting cardboard. We do make a little money on it.
Yeah.
Not as much as we did years ago. Everything is down. Metal's down, paper's down, everything's down.
Right.
But what we take here is we're not as fussy about the size of the cardboard. We ask people to break down their cartons.
Right, yeah.
Not just flatten them. We don't want them standing on them and flatten them. They have to be broken down because when you just crush them, that presents other problems. It doesn't lie flat in the
In the baler.
The baler, right?
Correct.
But we're not restrictive on the size.
Yeah.
They can the size that will not go in the truck. They can bring that up here and put the cardboard in here.
It would be nice if they broke all the boxes down. Makes
Yes.
it easier to load the bale.
It's easier for us. It saves time, and we're only part-timers here. We don't have a lot of time,
Yeah.
and that helps us.
It does.
In the end, it helps the town
Yeah.
because we're not spending a lot of foolish time breaking boxes down.
I've even seen some kids here
Oh, we get
doing community service, breaking the cardboard
we
down
get the high
for you.
school kids in here with us, and they do a great job for us.
Yeah.
And they enjoy coming here.
They've got to
enjoy
be
working
at
here.
least 16, 18 years old in order to use
To
the
operate
baler.
that machine, they have to be 18 years old. Sometimes we get kids that are younger that'll come in here. We'll take anybody that wants to help us. We'll take them in here, but we won't allow them to operate the machine, no,
Right.
unless they were 18 years old.
Regulations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But they could help break down the cardboard.
Oh yeah, they do. They
Help,
do a great job.
help
of
the
that.
residents unload their cars.
Which they do.
They do.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good thing.
They enjoy that.
Good
They
thing
enjoy
for
interacting
community
with the
service.
residents. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Very good. As you can see over in the back there, you have a number of bales.
Right now we have 9 bales. I need 3 more to have a full load. I call them when we have 11 bales.
11 bales. Yeah.
I call for a pickup. By the time they get in here, we have 12.
How often do you call them? Is it weekly, once
No,
a month? or
Probably
how-
once a month, once every 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they come in with a forklift and just
Yes,
load
yeah,
it on
and
their
they have a
trucks and-
flatbed trailer.
Beautiful.
They back the flatbed trailer right out back, and they have a forklift, and they take it all away for us. Yeah.
So this is where we have the paints,
And
the
hazardous items.
turpentine, hazardous items.
Mhm.
All right, that we have to take care of and sort at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this stuff has to be sorted. And as you see, we have paint cans in there. We have brush cleaner. We have some kind of an additive, polymer additive.
Yep.
All these things are things that we do not want people throwing in their trash.
Mm-hmm.
You see there's lawn food there and insect spray. And this all hazardous stuff.
God forbid any of this should get into our water system.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that.
We don't want that to happen.
No. Some of the stuff is poison.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is free. This is
Oh, yeah.
this is
we don't
to
charge
drop
for
this off. Doesn't cost them anything.
No.
If people have been having this stuff sit out in their shed for years and they want to get rid of it, this is the place
It's
to
the
bring
place
it.
to get rid of it.
Right.
That's right. And we ask them to do that the first Saturday of the month.
Okay.
As you see here now, we have these boxes. This box happens to be all water-based paint.
I see. Yep.
That box, on the other hand, is oil-based paint.
About how many of these do you go through in the course of, say, a month?
A month?
How often does this have to be picked up?
Oh,
The water base,
It's probably once a year.
once a year.
Because we'll stack them at the back. The last time they come in to pick this stuff up, we had 9 of these large boxes.
Really?
9 boxes.
Wow.
Which I say represented a large expense.
Oh.
But that's why we take the curse off it with the water base, charge it for the water base.
Yeah.
And then as far as the oil base, we have that account in town, the hazardous waste, household hazardous waste account.
Right.
And that takes care of all the oil base.
Excellent. Very good.
And now these other items that do not go in there, this hazardous stuff, whether it be insect spray or
Chemicals.
chemicals. As you see behind us, we have these containers here.
Yep.
And like flammables, anything that fumes goes in here. Like if you open this up, you would notice, you'd get a feeling in
odor.
your nose
Yeah.
that your nose would start burning. But
Yeah.
that's anything that fumes goes in here. And that's the, like I say, the flammables.
Flammables.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we should get elemental mercury, we put it in here. Elemental mercury is mercury that when you look at it, it moves all around, you hit it and it breaks up and then you put it all together. You know,
Yeah.
raw mercury. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not in a thermometer, it's just the mercury itself.
Yeah.
That would go in here, and as you see, we have these little containers with that charcoal
Yep.
in it.
Yep. I see that.
That's to absorb any fumes from mercury.
No.
So the fumes, mercury fumes, and that's what's dangerous about it. It goes right to the brain. But if it's in here, the fumes are not coming out in the air.
Yep.
It's being trapped by that
By the-
absorb. Yeah. And we don't keep that on hand very long. We get rid of that as quickly as possible. It doesn't happen often, but we have gotten elemental mercury in here.
Yep.
And you see that muriatic acid, that's another thing that, you know, if that container was open, you smell that and knock you over. So anything like that goes in here.
You keep that locked, obviously, just
Yep.
as a precaution.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And I can see the cardboard here. Your bales.
There's 9 bales,
Right.
3 more, and that'll be a load. Yeah. And there's our baler.
The baler is over here. And where was the oil container that people who have motor oil?
They would bring it in, and as you see, we have a lot of pouring to do.
This is all oil over here,
Yes.
huh?
And we pour into that blue tank.
How many
want-
gallons does that tank own?
That's 2,000 liters.
2,000 liters.
Yeah.
And from there, it's pumped over to the heating
You
system?
can see the copper tube
Yep.
goes across, and it's pumped into the red tank at the heater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, that tank is full. We need to pour into that. We just sent some of that oil from the blue tank to the red tank. So we now have room in the blue tank, so we can start pouring this stuff here now. We can pour that into the blue tank. We also have 2 55-gallon drums over there, which we just purchased because we were so far ahead of ourselves with oil.
Really?
We had no place to put it, so we bought 2 55-gallon drums. We also
Wow.
now have 110 gallons up in the pallet in the corner over there
I see that.
for future use in heating the building.
You get quite a bit of oil in, don't
Oh,
you?
we get a lot of oil.
Good.
Get a lot of people still change their own oil. Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
As well as vegetable oil, cran oil.
Now on the vegetable oil, that presents another type of problem. Some of it comes in as very clean and we can pour it right in the tank. But A lot of times around Thanksgiving and Christmas, we get the vegetable oil from the turkey fryers.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes we'll get pieces of meat in it, and we'll get crust from the turkey itself.
Yeah.
That you can't pour in that tank, and we haven't found a proper way to strain it yet.
I see.
You know, we have to get a straining system before we pour it into that the tank there, because it just gets pumped over, and once it goes through the furnace,
That's it.
now we have a repair bill on our
Yeah.
hand.
Okay.
So, but we take like the vegetable oils. Yes, we do take vegetable oils. If it's clean, we can pour it right in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not clean, we have a problem. We sometimes dispose of it with the bad oil.
Yep.
Should I explain bad oil to you, Dick?
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
We don't allow people to pour their own oil anymore. We used to in the past.
Yep.
What happened there is some people would bring oil in that was mixed with antifreeze.
Really?
Oh yeah, that happened quite a bit. They tell us it was oil, but it was
A combination?
It was a combination of oil and antifreeze. We pour it in the tank, not knowing, or let them pour it.
Yeah.
You know. Once that gets pumped into the furnace, we have that repair bill on our hand because that antifreeze is not good for the furnace. There are other times. I mean, I poured oil one day and a mouse come out of the container. So we don't allow people to pour their own oil anymore. But
So they would just bring it up to the attendant and tell them that they have recycled oil here or used oil, and he would take it from them and bring it over here.
Absolutely.
Okay. How could we get into bulky waste now?
Okay. Now, if someone has a construction project at home, they're tearing out walls and putting up new 2x4s and sheetrock, or maybe they're pulling out a bathroom and they have sinks and tubs, whatever. That's all bulky waste.
Mattresses,
Mattresses are bulky waste.
Furniture.
Furniture, damaged furniture, old furniture. When they bring that stuff in, then we have to charge them for that.
Okay.
The reason being is we not only have to pay for the transportation of that, but we also have to pay for the tonnage of that stuff.
Okay.
And we're probably the most reasonable way people can get rid of that stuff.
Yep.
It's a lot more expensive to hire a dumpster and put it in your driveway and fill it up than it is to bring a couple of pickup truckloads of bulky waste up here.
Yep.
You know.
Do we have a fee list of?
Yes, we do. And usually if people ask for it or if they have questions on the charges and costs for bulky waste, I give them a copy of that. Just as for an instance, if someone brings, I'm not saying these are etched in stone, but currently the cost of, say, an 8-foot pickup truck, the bed of an 8-foot, the 8-foot bed of a pickup truck, full to the rails with things like sheetrock, 2x4s,
construction
scrap wood.
material.
Yeah, that'd be $40.
Oh.
On the other hand, that same pickup truck, full to the rails with roof shingles, is $75.
Okay.
And then we adjust that. If it's a 6-foot bed, then it's 3/4 of the $40, so we charge them $30 for the pickup truck.
But they're basically still getting a break by
Oh.
bringing the stuff here versus, like you said, have a dumpster in the driveway.
That's right.
To have taken out.
And the best day to bring bulky waste up here is on Saturday because we have a backhoe here and an attendant with the backhoe who will, he'll bring the big front bucket up in the backhoe. You just dump everything from the truck into the backhoe, into the bucket, and he'll take care of putting it into the dumpster. You don't have to handle it to get it into the dumpster.
All right, Jim. So as the residents exit the recycle center out to the backyard here, and if they have batteries, appliances, some of the other things that we were talking about inside, where do they go? What do they do?
Okay, once they're leaving the recycling center building to come out here, we've already discussed price. If it's something they had to pay for, it's already been paid for.
Yep.
If it's something they don't have to pay for, then they just come out and place it where it should go.
In the appropriate container.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as you see here, we have automobile batteries.
Yep.
These are sealed lead acid batteries. And those are handled. The town actually makes a little money on these, not as much as they used to, but we do take them to the, for want of a better word, the junkyard, and they pay us for those batteries.
I see. Yep.
Over
And
there, you'll see the
propane tanks.
propane tanks. We charge $3 a piece for those.
Yeah.
because we have to pay to get rid of them. Now, if we could empty them and cut them up, we'd make money on the metal.
The metal plant.
But we're not going to start cutting propane tanks up.
Along those lines, how about appliances, air conditioners, things like that?
All right, they would come out here, and that bin there, that's where that we put refrigerators, air conditioners, and microwaves. All go in there. Anything with Freon goes in there, and microwaves go in there. There is a charge for any item that goes in
Goes
there.
in there. All right. And that would be on the list.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And how about TVs, monitors, anything?
Okay. That white bin over there is for any electronics.
Okay.
All right. Monitors, televisions, computers, old radios, anything electronic goes in there.
That bin there.
And that's taken out, when that's full, an empty comes in, they drop it beside it, and then take the full one out. There is a charge for monitors and televisions. The actual charge is for the CRT tube.
Okay.
That's what we're charging for. The rest of the electronics doesn't cost anything to get rid of, but they do charge us for the CRT tubes. So we have to charge the residents.
Another thing is, how often is that picked up?
That
How
goes
often
out
is
of
that
here.
filled?
That goes out of here probably every 2.5 to 3 months.
Okay. Okay. Good. So people are bringing their electronic equipment
Yes.
in
Yes.
instead of
Yeah. Leaving the
them
television in the woods.
someplace where they doesn't belong.
Yeah.
The next one I see looks like scrap metal.
That's exactly what it is. Scrap metal. It's not identified right now because someone did something with my metal sign. I had a scrap metal sign there, and it's probably in with the scrap metal.
So that would be for frames, barbecue grills,
Yep.
stuff like that.
Washing machines,
Washing machine.
dryers,
Yeah.
anything like that goes in there, gets crushed down, and that goes to the scrap metal yard.
Do we make money on the scrap
We
metal?
make a little. It's way down now. I think it's only $30 a ton.
Oh.
And, it's
Wow.
terrible.
That's-
Everything is down. Paper's down. Scrap metal is down. But we do make a little money on it. We still
Okay.
make a little money on it.
That must be something that's cyclical, though. That it's probably down now, but in the future,
It
as
is
the need
cyclical.
back-
It's our hope that this cycle is very short.
Yeah.
That things go back up.
Okay.
Yeah, but-
And now we have bulky waste.
No, we have the commingles. The same thing that you curbside, plastic, glass, and cans, go into the next 2 dumpsters there. We had to build that deck, and the reason being is people would come in with their bins and try to dump their bins into a 6-foot high dumpster. And it just wasn't working, especially on a windy day. So we built that deck, and now people can just walk up on the deck and dump their containers into the, as we say there, B container.
Yeah. Why would they bypass the truck?
Some people are very efficient, and they're very knowledgeable of the recycling center, and they figure if they come out there, if they have an opportunity to get out of the building, come out here and do it themselves, and they're not holding up things inside.
Okay.
you know.
All right. That's the only reason for that.
Yeah, some people are very independent, and
Yep.
they'd rather do. Oh yes, that's correct. Wednesdays the truck is not here. They have to come out and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then moving on. Oh, and again, we don't want styrofoam, plastic bags. We don't want any trash, and we don't want any paper in that bin there. That's just for what the sign says: plastic, glass, and cans.
I see.
Yeah.
And obviously, the next one is the do not use one that's full with bulky waste.
That's where construction debris, items that cannot be easily recycled under our process here, and has to be paid for. That goes in there. That's all the bulky waste.
And that's the charge for mattresses,
Rugs, you see a rug there?
Yep.
Furniture, stuffed chairs, couches. Yep, that's where that goes in
Okay,
there.
and that's all the fee things. That's cost the town.
Yes.
So
It
we
costs us to
charge
get rid
the
of it.
residents
Yes.
to get rid of the stuff there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
As we swing over further, we have more mixed paper, cardboard, newspapers.
Yep.
If we can walk around this side.
The as you see, those are enclosed containers. We don't want the paper getting any wetter than necessary, you know.
Yep.
So we try to keep it dry. There's still we still make a little money on the paper, although again, we don't make a lot of money. That paper is down also.
Okay.
Yeah. And now in that bin, we do not want large cardboard. We rather have it inside where we can bale it. We don't want cardboard boxes that aren't broken down in there. We want just paper and small cardboard
Cereal
items.
boxes,
and things
stuff
like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I see over here, I think the Boy Scouts have a section where the residents could drop off bottles and cans. That
Any
they can,
containers that have deposits on them, the scouts make money on it.
Excellent.
So we provide that space for them. They built that little bin,
Yeah.
and they come in on occasion. Right now, we're looking for them to come in because it's getting over.
Yeah.
We're getting overburdened with that
There's
stuff.
quite a few dollars there.
Yes, and they come in and they take it out of here and bring it.
And they do all the work. The Boy
Yes.
Scouts do
Oh, yeah.
all the work. They
They
do
do
all the
that.
handling.
Absolutely. Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
And beside that is the swap shop sheds.
Yeah. The first one beside the scout recycling bin is the book shed. We call it the book shed, but also in there you can find CDs, records. You know, believe it or not, we get old albums in there. Old
Really?
record albums.
Vinyls?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. People bring them in, and other people are looking for them. You know,
Wow.
they're collectible. And
I have a bunch of vinyls at home that I've been wondering whether I should put them on Craigslist or try to sell them or just.
if you don't, someone's going to. You put them in there.
Bring 'em
That's
in
what
there?
they do. A lot of people find that stuff and put it on Craigslist.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
another form
Maybe-
of income for people. you
Maybe
know.
we can take a look and see what's in there, what
Yeah.
people have dropped off.
If you'd like. Well,
Sure.
it's dark in there. There's no light. But,
Okay.
And then, of course, the next shed would be the what we
Swap
call
shop?
Swap shed.
Yep.
The only thing we want to put in there is we don't take furniture. We don't have the room for furniture. But items that go in there, we ask people that they be serviceable and clean and something that somebody would really want.
Yep.
You'll find a lot of dishes in there and odds and end dishes that mean, to most people, mean nothing. But someone might go in there and find a dish and say, I have that set. And one of my dishes broke. I
Yep.
need that dish, you know.
Yep.
So I mean, it's good.
I myself went in there and took a couple of booster seats for my grandchildren.
You find them
I,
in there.
I
that are
took
in
them
good
home,
shape.
washed them up a little
Yeah,
bit,
sure.
cleaned them up, and I have them in my the back seat of my car. And when I'm through with them, I'll wash them up and bring them back, and somebody else might be able to take them.
Yeah,
It's a
that's-
great
that-
idea. I think Halifax is kind of noted for this
Yeah.
swap shop system that we have here.
It works. It works.
Works quite well.
Yeah, and that's recycling.
Yeah.
Reuse.
Reuse.
Yeah.
Yep. We have these clothing bins here that we also have. We had Salvation Army was here earlier
Yep.
to pick up.
We have three choices for people. We have the Salvation Army, we have the Planet Aid, and we have this is the elementary schools bin. They profit from that bin there. That's any textiles they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was surprised that they're not too fussy, these bins, about what goes in there. If it's torn, they don't want really anything soiled with
Rags.
hazardous items.
Yeah.
But if it's torn or a little soiled, you know, and needs a clean, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't bother them.
They want that stuff, yeah, because they find a use for it all. Even old shoes.
Really.
I saw a pair of shoes. I asked the fellow when he was picking up. I said, "Do you really want stuff like that?" He said, "Oh yeah, we'll take that." I said, "Okay."
Excellent. Beautiful. So anybody that has some clothes at home that they've outgrown or outdated, they could always bring them down here to the recycle center, and somebody else is going to benefit by them.
That's right.
Instead of filling up closets and attics and cellaways and so forth, good spot to drop stuff off. What's this dumpster here?
This is a rigid plastics dumpster. We just got that on a state grant.
Oh,
Now, what that does for us, it takes all that rigid plastic out of the bulky waste stream.
oh,
We're not paying for that product that's in that dumpster any longer. We're
really?
not paying for the bulk or the weight in those dumpsters. We have to pay for the transportation of that dumpster, but they don't charge us for the contents.
For the contents. Oh.
Now, people say, well, why are you charging me? Because we do charge for rigid plastics.
Mhm.
Big rigid plastic items, we have to charge for it. Just like if something like that rocking horse over there, I fear that shouldn't have gone there. That actually has to go into the rigid plastics. It's old and unserviceable.
Yep.
I looked it over and it's really unserviceable. I wouldn't let a kid try to play with that.
Yeah.
Now, we should have charged, maybe $4 or $5
To
for
dispose of
husk,
that.
to dispose of it.
Yep.
People say, well, why are you charging me if you're not getting charged for it? And I say, no, your town is getting charged for that dumpster. When they take it out of here and bring it back, that's a fee for that.
Yeah.
So by not getting charged for the plastics, yet we are charging for it, it takes the curse off of the $170 it costs to transport that dumpster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're all paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Halifax, we have a good system. You know, that $50 that people pay for recycling fees, that's the best deal in town.
It is.
It doesn't come out of their
Absolutely.
real estate taxes.
Nope.
It has nothing to do with their
Nope.
real estate taxes, and it's a known number.
Yeah.
You know that they, and yet if they use the recycling properly, they find they're throwing out less trash and paying for far less trash bags.
Right.
You know? Or
Well,
if
I
they
don't-
have a private pickup, they're probably not picking them. They don't have the necessity of having it picked up every week.
Well,
if
I
they
only
a
have my
recycling.
wife and I. So
Yeah.
we go through one small bag a week,
Doing
which costs me $2. $2 a week, $104 a year to get rid of my trash for the entire year.
Well, my wife
we
and I
recycle as much as we possibly can.
as
right?
you should.
And to have it picked up every other week is quite a convenience to have living in Halifax.
That's right.
I think Halifax was awarded some certificates or something.
Oh, we did. I went and received 4 certificates of appreciation for the town of Halifax yesterday.
You have?
I was
Congratulations.
able to well, no, congratulations to Halifax. We do it right. Like I said to people, you know, those certificates of appreciation, they go to the residents that come in here and curbside properly. They come in here and get rid of the recycling properly.
Okay.
It's for the highway guys that come up and help us keep this place workable.
Organized.
It's
Yeah.
Susan Johnston, who is our coordinator. She does a great job, and she has for many years. Well, Bob Bador is the boss of this place, and he goes along with pretty much anything we want to do as long as it's right. You know?
Yep, absolutely.
And if we need a truck to transport styrofoam, or we need someone up here with a backhoe, he sends them right along.
Good.
You know, and it
So
all
it's a
works.
combination of everybody pulling together.
Takes a
to
lot of
make it
people
work.
to make it work.
And that's what makes Halifax a great community to live in.
Right.
So we were talking about the bags. We have a bag and tag program here in town. I see
Here's your
that
throat.
you just got a shipment of bags in.
Yes, we did.
We've got 2 sizes in town, correct?
Yes, we have
large
this-
and a small.
Right.
How much are what's the prices on those?
A package of 5 small bags is $10, and a package of 5 large bags is $15.
$15.
Yeah.
And where can the residents pick up the bags?
Well, if you're proceeding from the recycling center, the first place you'd encounter is the mobile station, the mobile gas station.
Oh, okay. Yeah, didn't
They
realize
sell them.
that.
And then you go up to Tedeschi's, sells them. Stop and Shop sells them. Cumberland Farm sells
Yeah.
them. Harmony 2, the liquor store, sells them. And then down on Home Street, Lindy's.
No, so they're readily available
Oh,
around
yeah.
town. There's no
They're
problem.
close to anyone.
And anybody that comes into the recycle center
Or they can
also
purchase them here.
here.
They can purchase them here. As you
Excellent.
see, we have 3 pallets. This represents 155 cases of large bags.
Yep.
Susan's a genius at ordering these. We were down to 43 cases in the room back there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden these arrived, so now we have 198 cases on hand.
Beautiful.
That'll last us about 6 or 7 months.
Really? Beautiful. It's a tremendous program. It really is.
It is.
Like I said, we
If
really
people
are
use it properly.
conscious at home about what we're throwing in that blue bag
Yep.
to get rid of. As
Yep.
much as we can recycle, we try to.
And then, of course, there are always those people that go that one step further, and they have the composting bin, which we sell here. We sell composting
Oh, I
bins.
didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, and that's good for all of after you get through peeling your potatoes over the holidays, and you peel your squash, all your vegetable cuttings, and all that goes into the composting. You never want to put meat or oils or grease or anything like that in the composting.
Yeah.
But any vegetable scraps, things that will break down readily, that's what the composting bin is for. So that doesn't go in the blue trash bag.
And is that only received here at the recycle center? That's not picked up curbside?
No, that isn't received here either.
It's not
No,
received here?
like what I was saying is we sell composting bins that
Bags.
people can set up in their yard.
I see.
And
Okay.
they
Yep.
can compost, and then they compost all year round. And in the spring, they could have some nice, lush dirt for their garden, a nice black
Beautiful.
dirt for their
Create
garden.
their own soil. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where fluorescent tubes, light bulbs, things that have mercury in it, you said?
Yes. Yep.
Again, this is something that they give to the attendant when they first drive in, so that they're not driving through the recycle center with this stuff in their vehicle.
Right. When they first come in, they usually hand this to us, or they alert us to the fact that they have it.
Yeah.
And we sometimes take it out of their car. If they have like large bulbs and a lot of them,
Yeah.
I'd rather they not try to get them out of their car, drop them on the ground, break them, because now we
Then there's a problem.
have another problem.
Yeah.
So we'll take them out of the car for them if they have a lot.
Yeah.
But as you see, this box here holds the 8-foot mercury bulb.
Yep.
Those tubes back there, the big tubes, those are 4-foot mercury bulbs.
Mhm.
And then back there we have those short squat boxes,
Yeah,
and they
I see
take
those.
odd-shaped bulbs. Anything from something like that
Uh-huh.
to something like that.
Wow.
They go into that.
Those short boxes.
Then we have the buckets, plastic buckets. I think I'll go over and show you one. Now, what we put in the plastic buckets is, well, that's from the Halifax Fire Department. It's an old blood pressure cuff which has
Oh.
mercury in it.
Yep.
Yeah. Or people will bring in the old thermostats, which has that little mercury bulb.
Mercury
Right?
in there. Yep.
Now, as far as that goes, you can see the bulb in there.
Yep.
This is intact. We can handle it just the way I'm showing you, packaged in this bucket.
Mhm.
If someone were to break that bulb out of there and just bring the bulb in,
Yep.
I have to handle it as elemental mercury. I can't just put it in here now. We have to handle it. It's a whole
different ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So leave everything intact. You've got anything with mercury in it, leave it intact.
One other thing I wanted to ask you, Jim, while we're here is, how about needles?
Yes.
People who, diabetics that have needles and stuff like that.
As you see here, this is a biohazard area.
Yeah.
And people bring their needles in, and we ask them to package it in something hard.
Yep.
And once that's full, they'll bring it in, and we'll place that in here. Which, when full, like this,
Yep.
we first close it all up, tape the top down,
Yep.
and then, as you see, there's a label on the side. We have to label it,
Yep.
and then we ship it out. Now, I would
For-
show you what's in there, but I don't have any
Not
rubber gloves.
necessary.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
handle
not
anything.
necessary. As long as the people, the residents know that it should be in a sealed container.
A hard container.
When they're
it
bringing
could
it
be,
in.
it
For-
could be in an old detergent bottle. It could be in a peanut butter jar. It doesn't matter. You know, they can use a large container as long as it's a solid plastic container, and no one's going to get stuck.
Exactly.
We don't want it
That's-
coming in baggies and.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is for safety reasons that,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And then over here we have. You saw the batteries outside.
I did.
The lead acid batteries. Well, this is rechargeable batteries.
Oh.
Any battery that is rechargeable is hazardous to the environment. It has nasty heavy metals in it. We ask people to bring those in here,
Yeah.
and what we would do is we just take this off, drop the battery into this plastic bag, seal it. It's packaged. It's safe.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But like I say, any rechargeable battery has to go in there. It's because it has the heavy metals which are poison to the environment and to people. We don't want that stuff in the environment.
Well, it's obvious that you have a passion for recycling.
I've developed one.
You really have.
I've developed one. Yes.
I meant to ask you earlier on, how long have you been here?
I'm into
as
my
the
5th
attendant?
year.
Your 5th year as the
Yeah,
attendant.
February will be 5 years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Jim, you said that the town got awarded a couple of certificates for
We did.
their recycle program.
We did.
Have you got the certificates available?
Yeah, we picked them up yesterday at this recognition ceremony they held up in Braintree at the town hall in Braintree, and it's Mass Recycle, and we're in the Southeast Municipal Recycling Council.
Yeah.
Part of it, and for instance, this, as you see, is Comprehensive Access Household Hazardous Waste Collection. We got this award because we're one of the few towns whose recycling center takes this consistently all year round, takes hazardous waste.
Wonderful.
A lot of them, a lot of towns, they'll have like 1, maybe 2 hazardous waste days a year.
Yeah.
But we take it pretty consistently. In
Excellent.
an emergency, we'll take it anytime.
That's nice.
And then this one here, collection of non-traditional items for recycling. I explain to people when they come in here that we're probably the only town that takes styrofoam. If you go into other towns and you go to their recycling centers, their attendants or their management will say, no, it's not recyclable. Well, it is a very recyclable product. The problem is it's labor intensive, it takes a lot of time, and it takes, there's a little consideration in how you get rid of it once you package it.
And there isn't much reward on the other end.
There isn't any reward, only to the convenience of the residents. And like I say, what are they going to do with it? You know what I mean? You'd be filling up blue trash bags with it, and that'd become very expensive.
So we're pretty much a complete recycle center here.
Yes. Some things we do to make the recycling process more convenient for the resident. You know, we this recycling center goes a little further than most.
Yeah.
And there's another one, 10 recycling dividends program. This Susan would have to explain this. We get these recycling dividends, and they're actually good when it comes time to, we're looking for grants and things like that. You know, that looks good on our resume.
So we get recognized by the state.
Yes. And in this, especially in southeastern Massachusetts, we're one of the leaders here. Lowest pounds of trash per household served curbside.
Isn't that awesome?
In other words, this town throws less trash away than most other towns.
Isn't that? That's
I think we're down to less than 800 pounds a household.
Really?
A year.
Wow.
Yeah. That's great.
That's phenomenal.
That's great.
That
It
really
is phenomenal. I think the state average is 1,800 pounds per household.
Wow.
And we do less than 8.
Nice job, the town of Halifax.
Yes,
good job.
People are doing a good
you're doing
job
your
out
part.
there.
Along those lines, we were talking about the curbside recycling.
Yes.
And everybody's got a bin or two. In order to help the process along, wouldn't it be nice, easier if people could just crush their water bottles, their
certainly.
milk containers, instead of having 2 or 3 bins? If they could just crush them down, that's what's going to happen to them ultimately anyway, right?
Yeah, and right now, especially where we have this gravity feed truck, the old technology, as I explained, if people would crush that stuff down, it'd be less dumping we'd have to do in the truck.
Right.
I know there are some people out there who say, oh, I'm not going to do that. There are a lot of people that are coming along kicking and screaming into the world of recycling. They just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
They haven't seen the benefits of it, the virtues of it. But if people could crush that stuff down, that'd be wonderful. A lot of people might not remember where we've come from when we used to have to separate brown glass from the green glass from the white glass. We used to have to take those little metal rings off the plastic bottles.
Right.
We had to remove labels
off the cans.
We've come a long way.
Yeah.
We've come a long
really
way.
has become
Much
easier,
more convenient.
Much more convenient. Good
Yeah.
way of putting it for the
Yeah.
residents to be
Yeah.
able to recycle.
And I admit, and I sympathize with people that are especially the ones that are just coming to the process of recycling. It's frustrating, and it takes a little, there is a learning curve.
Yep.
And I tell them, just stick with it, and it becomes so natural after a while.
Yeah.
And when they're only putting out that one large trash bag every other week, they're saying,
Exactly.
hey, I'm saving some money here.
Yep.
People say, well, what do you do with your swill and your garbage? Well, what I do is I package it up in a little plastic bag and I put it in the bottom of my freezer. And every 2 weeks when I go to put that trash bag out there, I take that stuff out of my freezer, put it in my trash bag, and put it curbside.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you have a passion for recycling and trash disposal and whatnot.
Yes. And a lot of people do. I do. I am, I guess you could say, passionate about it. I learned to be passionate. When I first took this job, it just sounded like such an interesting job for me. I was retired, and a little part-time job. That sounds interesting and very social. I get to see everybody in town, and I love the residents, and I think they're pretty much happy coming in here. But as I get deeper into my career in recycling, I've learned a lot, and I see the benefits of it, and I see more of this side of the recycling process than the average bird. Mm-hmm. So of course I'm excited about it and passionate about it. It's
Well,
a
Jim,
great thing.
I'd
We're
like
doing
to-
good for the earth.
I'd like to thank you for your time, your insight, what goes on behind the scenes with all of this stuff. I hope the residents have enjoyed this. So if anybody has any questions on what you take here, or questions about the hours or anything, how can they get a hold of the Recycle Center?
Well, they could physically come in. We're at 917 Plymouth Street, just before you cross into the East Bridgewater cross over to East Bridgewater line. You
Yep.
can speak to Susan or myself. Or you could call the office, which is 781-293-1732. And
job.
you'll get Susan or myself, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Well, Jim, I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope the residents of Halifax have benefited a little bit by this. It's just a little insight as to what goes on in our town, your town, and this is just one of a few departments that we'd like to be covering in the future, and I hope you stay tuned to Getting to Know Halifax.